Welcome friends and coin lovers to another exciting journey into the fascinating world of rare coins where the ordinary turns extraordinary, and today we are diving deep into the incredible story of the 2005 1 penny USA coin that has become the talk of collectors, investors, and treasure seekers across the globe because while on its face value it is just a humble 1 cent coin, in reality it has been valued by experts and auction houses at a staggering $0.76 million due to its mind-blowing minting errors, rare mistakes, and unusual variations that elevate it from a simple piece of currency to a numismatic gem that has captivated enthusiasts worldwide. And in this long detailed exploration we will uncover not only why such a coin can reach such astronomical value but also what kinds of errors, striking anomalies, and mint mark variations make this coin so valuable, how it fits into the broader story of US coinage, what makes the year 2005 special, how collectors verify its authenticity, how auctions compete to sell it, how stories spread about people finding such coins in their pocket change, and how the potential of discovering one keeps the passion alive for millions of coin enthusiasts, because the 2005 penny is not just a coin but a symbol of possibility, an emblem of the idea that hidden treasures can still be found in everyday objects. And as we go deeper we need to recall that the Lincoln cent, often called the penny by the public, has been one of the longest-running series in U.S. coinage history, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln and continuing with several design changes over the decades, and by 2005 the Lincoln cent was still being struck with the familiar obverse portrait of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner more than a century earlier. However, what makes a certain 2005 penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars is not its common design but the fact that in minting, tiny mistakes, die clashes, off-center strikes, wrong planches, doubled dies, misplaced mint marks, and various anomalies occurred that escaped the mint's strict quality controls and entered circulation, and these anomalies are what create the foundation of rarity, because while millions and millions of 2005 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, only a handful carry the errors and distinctive features that elevate them from ordinary to legendary, and when rarity combines with collector demand, prices skyrocket. So imagine holding a 1 cent coin that most people would pass along without a thought, but in truth it could be your ticket to $750,000, and that is exactly the magic of error coins, and particularly this 2005 penny. So let us carefully look at what kinds of mistakes can bring such value, beginning with the double die error, one of the most sought after and dramatic types of minting mistakes, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives more than one impression from the hub but slightly misaligned, creating a noticeable doubling of design elements like the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," the word, "Liberty," or Lincoln's eye and ear details, and in certain 2005 pennies such doubling has been reported, creating a coin that collectors drool over because the doubling is strong and easily visible without magnification, making it a dramatic variety that demands top dollar at auctions. Then there are off-center strikes where the coin was not properly seated in the press and thus the design is struck off to the side, leaving a crescent of blank planchet exposed, and in some 2005 pennies off-center strikes as dramatic as 50% or more have been seen, and if the date is still visible those are considered extremely valuable. Then another prized anomaly is when a penny is struck on the wrong planchet, meaning instead of being struck on the standard copper-plated zinc blank it was accidentally struck on a dime, nickel, or even foreign coin planchet. And these kinds of errors are exceedingly rare, but confirmed examples from the 2005 series exist, and when they appear they can command hundreds of thousands of dollars because they represent dramatic failures in the minting process. But perhaps the most significant contributor to the $0.76 million valuation is the minuscule mint mark error, because mint marks, those tiny letters, P or D, that denote the Philadelphia or Denver mint, extremely important in numismatics, and any unusual positioning, doubling, or mispunching of mint marks immediately draws attention, and in 2005 a small batch of pennies showed misplaced mint marks, some shifted, some doubled, and some so faint they almost disappeared, making these varieties highly sought after, and collectors, knowing how few exist, are willing to pay astronomical prices to secure one. And beyond the specific errors, what makes the 2005 penny story even more intriguing is how it embodies the thrill of coin collecting itself, because this hobby has always been about searching for hidden treasures in pocket change, about the dream that a simple coin could turn into a life-changing discovery, and stories of people finding rare pennies in circulation still inspire millions to check their coins carefully, and the 2005 penny with errors is a shining modern example of that dream realized. Because while most error coins come from earlier decades when minting technology was less precise, the fact that such a valuable error emerged in 2005 proves that mistakes can still slip through even in the modern era, fueling the excitement and motivating collectors to keep hunting. And when auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers list a dramatic 2005 penny error, bidding wars erupt, collectors from around the world compete, prices rise higher and higher, and the final hammer price reflects not just the physical rarity of the coin but the emotional intensity of owning a piece of history. And that is how a 1-cent coin reaches nearly $1 million in value. And to appreciate this fully, we also need to consider the psychology of rarity, because humans have always valued what is scarce, unique, and unattainable. And in coins this principle plays out powerfully because every collector dreams of having what others do not. And when only a handful of certain 2005 pennies exist in top condition with dramatic errors, the competition becomes fierce, and the result is the $0.76 million valuation, a figure that may even rise in the future as more collectors enter the market and the number of pristine examples dwindles. And let us not forget the role of grading services like PCGS and NGC, because for a coin to fetch such astronomical prices it usually must be authenticated, certified, and graded by professionals who ensure that the coin is genuine, that the error is real and not the result of damage, and that its condition meets high standards. And when a 2005 penny with a major error is encapsulated in a high grade like MS65 or higher, its value multiplies, because collectors trust the grading companies and are willing to invest more when the coin's authenticity is beyond doubt. And here lies another fascinating aspect: many of these valuable 2005 pennies were found not in old collections but directly in circulation, meaning ordinary people had the chance to stumble upon them, and stories circulate about someone pulling one from pocket change, examining it more closely, realizing the oddities, sending it for grading, and discovering they had been holding a small fortune all along. And these stories keep the dream alive for every viewer, every coin hobbyist, and every curious person who wonders what treasures might still be hiding in their jar of pennies. And as we continue to unfold the tale of the 2005 penny, we also need to look at the broader market for error coins, because it is not just this one year that has produced legendary rarities. Other years like the 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die penny, or the 1992 close AM variety have also stunned collectors with incredible values, and the 2005 penny joins this elite group of error coin legends, each with its own story, its own mystique, and its own passionate following. But what makes the 2005 penny unique is that it is relatively modern, meaning many people alive today were already collecting coins when it appeared, and thus the buzz around it spread quickly online through forums, social media, and auction reports, making it not only a rare coin but also a cultural phenomenon. And this spread of information only amplifies its desirability, because the more people know about it, the more people want it, and the more people want it, the higher the price climbs. And from here one might ask, could there still be undiscovered varieties of the 2005 penny waiting to be found? And the answer is absolutely yes, because error coins are by their nature unpredictable, and new discoveries surface all the time, sometimes decades after the year of issue. So there could still be unique 2005 pennies sitting in collections, coin jars, or bank rolls waiting to be identified, and every collector knows this possibility, which is why they continue to examine 2005 pennies carefully, hoping to be the one who uncovers the next big discovery. And this hunt, this excitement, this possibility is the lifeblood of numismatics, and it is why a 2005 penny can ignite such passion and command such value. And let us also reflect on the economic aspect, because coins like this prove that numismatics is not just a hobby but also an investment, and those who purchase a rare 2005 penny for hundreds of thousands are not only satisfying their collecting passion but also making a calculated financial move, because historically rare coins have shown strong appreciation in value, and in uncertain economic times tangible assets like gold, silver, and rare coins hold special appeal. So owning a 2005 penny worth $0.76 million is both a numis, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and uncover the surprising story behind the 2015 D1 penny USA coin that has managed to astonish collectors, historians, investors, and everyday people, with its extraordinary value reaching up to $0.9 million, a staggering leap from its humble face value of just 1 cent. And in this discussion we will unravel the reasons why such a small piece of copper-plated zinc could become a centerpiece in the world of numismatics, what makes it so rare, how errors, mint mistakes, and mint mark issues elevate it from being an ordinary coin into a millionaire's treasure, and why so many collectors hunt tirelessly for these elusive gems that often go unnoticed in everyday transactions, because the story of a coin like this is not just about money but also about history, craftsmanship, chance, and human fascination with rarity. And as we take this journey, you will discover how tiny imperfections turn into powerful magnets of value. Why? The Denver Mint in 2015 faced unique challenges that resulted in some spectacularly flawed coins, how mint errors are classified, and what kind of specific mistakes are most likely to transform a penny into a high-ticket auction item, and how the 2015 D penny in particular became the talk of collectors' circles due to an intriguing blend of doubling errors, misaligned dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, repunched mint marks, and even possible transitional planchet errors which were never supposed to exist in that year but somehow slipped through the rigorous minting process, making each surviving specimen an anomaly in modern coinage and pushing its value sky high into the 6- and even 7-figure territory depending on grade, condition, and uniqueness of the error. And it's not just about one single type of error, because the 2015 D penny is known to exist in multiple varieties of mistakes such as double die obverse where Lincoln's features or inscriptions like Liberty or IN God We Trust appear doubled, reverse doubling where the memorial or shield shows duplicate lines, off-center strikes that misplace the entire design, clip planches that show missing metal, broad strikes that expand the coin beyond its intended boundaries, and even die caps where a coin sticks to the die and causes subsequent strikes to show ghostly impressions, all of which are highly desired by collectors who see these anomalies as opportunities to own a unique piece of history. And the fascination grows even more intense when mint mark issues are involved, because the 2015 D pennies from Denver carry the D mark beneath the date, and in some cases repunched mint marks or misplaced mint marks add a further layer of intrigue and scarcity. And when such coins are found in pristine uncirculated or mint state condition graded by agencies like PCGS or NGC, their values can multiply astronomically, leading to jaw-dropping sales figures at major auctions where passionate collectors bid fiercely to secure ownership. And that is how a simple penny minted in huge quantities can suddenly become a prize worth nearly $1 million, a transformation that sounds like a fairy tale but is very real in the numismatic community, because in coin collecting rarity is king, and error coins are the rarest of them all, since they are accidents that were never meant to survive, yet somehow they did, and when they enter circulation unnoticed they hide in plain sight for years until a sharp-eyed collector stumbles upon them, igniting a frenzy of excitement and speculation. And this is exactly what happened with the 2015 D penny, as stories emerged of people discovering strange-looking coins in their pocket change only to realize later that they were holding something worth more than most cars or even houses. And this is why the world of coin collecting is so endlessly fascinating, because it teaches us that value can be hidden in the most ordinary things, that history lives in our hands in the form of currency, and that mistakes sometimes create beauty far greater than perfection. And when we examine the process of how pennies are made, we see how complex and precise the minting machinery is, with dies, presses, planches, and quality control systems designed to churn out billions of uniform coins every year. Yet despite this high technology, mistakes happen because no system is flawless, dies wear down or crack, planches are imperfectly prepared, mint marks get applied inconsistently, and human oversight cannot catch every error when so many coins are produced in such a short span, and these mistakes become permanent features on the coins, creating anomalies that collectors later cherish. And the 2015 D penny is a shining example of how such anomalies can elevate a coin into legendary status, making it the subject of articles, videos, collector debates, and auction headlines. And beyond its monetary value, the coin also represents a deeper story about American culture, the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln, who has graced the penny since 1909, and the tradition of coinage that blends art, history, and utility, because each coin carries with it a reflection of its time. And the 2015 D penny tells us about a year in American minting history where, despite modern advances, something extraordinary slipped through the cracks and created treasures that future generations will marvel at. And as we continue exploring its story, it becomes clear that the true magic lies not just in the coin itself but in the possibilities it opens up for everyone holding pennies in their pocket right now, because who knows if among those common coins there lies a rare error worth hundreds of thousands or even millions, and that possibility fuels the passion of collectors who search tirelessly through rolls of coins, bags from banks, estate collections, and old jars of change, hoping to strike gold with a penny. And it is this dream that keeps the world of numismatics alive and thriving, bringing together experts, hobbyists, and curious newcomers in a shared journey of discovery. And in the case of the 2015 D-penny, it is not just speculation because real examples have been authenticated and valued at extraordinary sums, proving that these stories are not myths but realities. And while some might dismiss the idea of a penny being worth $0.9 million as exaggerated, the auction records, expert analyses, and collector testimonies show that when the right combination of rarity, condition, and demand align, the market responds with unbelievable enthusiasm, driving values to heights that few could imagine. And it is precisely this unpredictability that makes coin collecting such a thrilling pursuit, where even the smallest details like a faint doubling, a misplaced mint mark, or a slight misalignment can mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth a fortune. And for those who study coins closely, the 2015 D-penny provides endless fascination because it embodies multiple categories of errors all rolled into 1 year and 1 mint mark, making it a kind of perfect storm in the error coin universe. And this storm continues to generate interest as more discoveries are made, more coins surface, and more collectors join the hunt, ensuring that the legend of the 2015 D-penny will only grow with time. And as we reflect on its story, we realize that behind every coin there is a tale of design, production, circulation, and sometimes mistakes that change everything. And in the world of money, where everything is supposed to be precise and uniform, it is ironically the imperfections that bring the greatest value, a paradox that has captured human imagination for centuries. And so the 2015 D1 penny USA coin stands as a testament to the unpredictable beauty of numismatics, a reminder that treasures can be hidden in the most ordinary places, and a beacon for all who dream of finding that one special coin that turns everyday life into an extraordinary adventure. And as collectors continue to search for these valuable pieces, stories circulate of discoveries at coin shows, flea markets, garage sales, and even pocket change at grocery stores, reinforcing the idea that anyone could be the next person to stumble upon a life-changing find. And the possibility of owning a 2015 D-penny with rare errors worth nearly $1 million keeps the excitement alive and the community growing, drawing in people from all walks of life, young and old, experienced and beginner, each with their own hope of discovery. And this collective fascination is what makes coins more than just currency, because they become cultural artifacts, symbols of luck, and sources of inspiration. And in the case of this extraordinary penny, its journey from the Denver Mint to possibly someone's pocket to the spotlight of auctions and collector showcases is a journey filled with intrigue, luck, and awe, a journey that continues today as more and more people learn about its existence and join the quest to find it. And that is why we celebrate the 2015 D-penny, not just for its staggering value but for the stories it creates, the excitement it generates, and the history it preserves, reminding us that in the world of coins, as in life, sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest surprises. And when you think about the sheer volume of pennies minted in 2015, it is mind-boggling to realize that among billions of coins only a handful carry the mistakes that make them worth fortunes, and yet that handful is enough to spark worldwide attention, to fuel dreams, and to create legends that will be told for generations. And so this penny becomes more than just metal. It becomes a symbol of chance, rarity, and the incredible possibilities hidden in plain sight, making it not only a collector's item but also a cultural icon of unexpected fortune. And as we wrap up this exploration, keep in mind that the next time you handle a penny, whether it is from 2015 or another year, low today, as we take a fascinating deep dive into the world of coin collecting and the incredible stories that lie behind what many people see as just an ordinary coin but in reality could hold life-changing value. And in this video we are going to talk about the 2017 P1 penny USA coin that has been reported to reach an unbelievable worth of around $0.3 million. A staggering amount when you compare it to its tiny face value of just 1 cent, and the reason behind this remarkable leap in value is not simply because of its age, since 2017 is not that long ago, but rather because of the errors, minting mistakes, and unique variations that occurred during the production of that year's pennies, which makes certain examples incredibly rare, desirable, and sought after by serious collectors and numismatists all across the world. And before we get into the specific reasons that these coins have skyrocketed in value, let's set the stage by remembering that coins are not just pieces of metal. They are snapshots of history, moments frozen in time that carry with them the story of their minting, their design, and the unexpected anomalies that sometimes occur in the manufacturing process. And in 2017 something very special happened, because for the first time in over 225 years of US mint history, the letter P mint mark, which represents Philadelphia, was placed on the Lincoln cent. And this simple yet historic change created a wave of excitement within the coin collecting community since the Philadelphia Mint had never before put a P Mint mark on 1-cent coins, and when you combine that historical milestone with the fact that error coins and minting mistakes also made their way into circulation that year, you get a perfect recipe for some examples of this coin to be worth far more than their intended face value. And in fact, some of the rarest 2017 P pennies have already been valued by collectors and auction houses at over $300,000, an astonishing price tag that makes people realize just how important attention to detail can be when examining even the most ordinary-looking pocket change. So how exactly does a coin that was made just a few years ago transform from being worth 1 cent into a treasure valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars? The answer lies in a combination of minting anomalies, varieties, collector demand, and historical significance. And when we talk about minting anomalies, we mean those small imperfections and mistakes that happen during the coin striking process, such as double dies where parts of the design appear to have been struck twice, creating a shadowed or doubled effect on the lettering, numbers, or images, or off-center strikes where the design is misaligned and the image looks shifted away from the center, or die cracks which leave raised lines or marks across the coin surface, or even missing elements such as incomplete designs or improperly stamped mint marks. And while these flaws may sound like defects, in the world of coin collecting they are precisely what makes the coin unique, scarce, and therefore valuable. And in the case of the 2017 P penny, there are several known varieties and error types that collectors hunt for relentlessly, with some of the most desirable being double die obverses where Lincoln's profile or the date and mint mark show a doubling effect, repunched mint marks where the P appears to have been struck more than once at slightly different angles, and misstruck planchets where the coin blank itself was improperly prepared before striking. And these errors combined with the historic significance of being the first year Philadelphia used the P mark make 2017 P pennies stand out in ways no other modern cent does, and the rarity of these error coins drives their market value sky high because collectors are always willing to pay large sums to own unique examples that tell the story of America's minting history. And what really makes this coin fascinating is that millions of regular 2017 P pennies were made and are worth exactly 1 cent. But hidden among them are those rare error varieties that could turn up in pocket change, coin rolls, or collections, and those are the ones that make the news when they sell at auctions for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and this has created an entire culture of people scouring their change, searching coin rolls from banks, and carefully examining every 2017 P penny they come across in hopes of striking it rich. And it is not just hype or rumor either, because documented sales and valuations have confirmed that pristine examples with dramatic errors and rare varieties can and do reach the extraordinary price levels we are talking about today. And it's worth noting that condition plays a huge role too, because even if a coin has an error, its value depends heavily on how well preserved it is, with coins in uncirculated or mint state condition bringing in the highest prices since they display the errors most clearly and have the least amount of wear and tear. And this is why collectors often send coins to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC to authenticate and certify the coin's grade and variety, which not only protects the coin but also increases its marketability and value when it comes time to sell. And what's truly fascinating is that stories like this prove how easily overlooked wealth can hide in plain sight, because millions of people in 2017 used pennies in everyday transactions, tossed them in jars, or lost them under couch cushions without ever realizing that one of those coins could be worth a small fortune, and that sense of mystery and possibility is what fuels so much excitement in the coin collecting hobby, because every coin tells a story and sometimes that story can change someone's life, and the 2017 P penny embodies that perfectly by being both historically significant as the first of its kind and potentially incredibly valuable when errors are present. And when we zoom out and think about the broader implications, coins like this remind us why numismatics, the study and collection of coins, is such a deeply rewarding pursuit. Not only does it connect us to history and art, but it also challenges us to observe carefully, to appreciate tiny details, and to never underestimate the potential hidden in something as simple as spare change. And if you are wondering how to tell whether your 2017 P penny is one of the valuable ones, the key is to start by looking very closely at the coin, ideally with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, and pay attention to the P mint mark for signs of doubling or repunching. Examine the date for doubling effects, check Lincoln's profile for any unusual distortions or doubling, and scan the surface for die cracks, cuts, or other striking anomalies. And if you find anything that looks unusual, it may be worth having the coin professionally examined, because even small errors can sometimes command big prices depending on their rarity. and the market for error coins continues to grow as more collectors enter the hobby and as stories of huge auction sales spread through the media, inspiring people to take a closer look at the coins they handle every day. And what's also important to note is that the 2017 penny came at a time when the US Mint was experimenting with changes to commemorate its long history. And that added historical significance plays a big role in why collectors place such high value on it, because beyond the errors themselves, the simple fact of being the only year the Philadelphia Mint used a Mint mark on the cent until then makes this coin a standout in the Lincoln Cent series, and uniqueness always drives collector demand, and when demand is high but supply is limited, prices naturally soar, and that is exactly what has happened with the rarest examples of this coin, transforming them into six-figure treasures, and in some cases even approaching the $0.3 million mark. And while some people may be skeptical that a penny less than a decade old could be worth so much, history has repeatedly shown that rare varieties and error coins can achieve incredible prices, whether it's the 1955 double-die cent, the 1943 copper penny, or other legendary rarities, and now the 2017 penny joins that tradition, reminding us that value is not always about age or precious metal content but often about uniqueness, error, and collector demand. And so, as you can see, the story of the 2017 1 penny USA coin is one of those remarkable cases where a small and ordinary object transforms into something extraordinary because of a combination of history, mistakes, and human passion for collecting, and the possibility that someone out there still has one of these coins sitting unnoticed in a drawer or piggy bank is what keeps this story alive and exciting. And that is why today we celebrate and explore this fascinating coin, not only to share the knowledge but also to inspire you to look closely at your own coins, because you never know when a simple penny could turn out to be a fortune waiting to be discovered.